Hey everyone. Oh, I see RK is here, so I need not panic. Thank you, RK. You'll fight off those bots that have been showing up lately. Thanks. Yep. So welcome to RK. We got Tim's talk here, and Six is here with the trees, which is great. So welcome, guys. I don't know if we got anyone else in the chat yet, but just want to give a quick first reaction. Some mild spoilers, not ruining everything, but I'm gonna be on the clubhouse tonight with Cloudburn Times and Raquel, and we're gonna talk about it, but we don't want to give really any spoilers there. So I figured I'd go on and just give a few quick thoughts on the movie, and overall thumbs up. I think it's gonna maybe piss off some purists with Spider-Man purists, or things that might nitpick or not like in terms of the character of Doctor Strange. Oh, we got Dadman here. Yep, have to watch it later. Hope it was good. Yep. Yeah. So don't. I'm going to spoiler a few things, Dadman. So thanks for stopping in and dropping a like. But yeah, I'd tell you to drop out just because I'm not going to give away any major stuff. But just want to talk about a few of the things that might not look so good. Yep. Oh, Six is saying your screen is frozen for over a minute. Is it just me? Let me see if we're. It says I'm live, so maybe try refreshing your screen. Six, just do function 5 or refresh, or sometimes the YouTubes do that. Or one time I was waiting to watch a show with R&B and Raquel and Klobby, and I was in the chat the whole time, and the screen the video never started to play. So I was actually just sitting there in the chat and like, when are they going to start? I mean, they're starting awfully late. So yeah, so just try refreshing. Hopefully that'll work. But and let us know if you can if you can hear me after that. But hopefully you'll get that working. But yeah, to start off, the movie, it's you've got Peter Parker. Obviously, this is not a spoiler. Let me put on the spoiler banner here too. But oh, that's my Ghostbuster spoiler. Let me change that. But so basically, the movie starts. Everyone knows who Peter Parker is. So, if you've watched, Far From Home, so that's not. You're trying to figure out how Spider-Man's going to deal with it. And then one, just in terms of practical stuff, everyone knows that he's, Peter Parker's Spider-Man at this point, and you're wondering like, well, wait a minute, aren't ever there going to be people stalking him every second, every day, or some old villains are going to come back to get him? So they didn't really have that in the movie. Of course, you got the Tony Stark tech that's still helping him, and you've got he moves into Happy Hogan's apartment. So they've got that fallback plan, which is one of the things I don't like about this iteration of Spider-Man in terms of not being on his own, and he's always got Tony Stark to that tech to kind of fall back on. But the movie, and without giving away ending, the movie kind of rectifies that in the end, which is one of the things I like. Oh, and Six says she can hear and see me. Good 5x5, right? Yep. That's good. So but yeah, so the movie starts, and this is where we're getting to spoilers. Obviously everyone was waiting to see, other versions of Spider-Man and the villains. And of course that's kind of leaked, but let me share my screen just so it's, we can talk about some of those people that showed up. So, let me share that over here. So it's one of the big fight scenes, that happens is with Doc Ock in the beginning, and Alfred Molina. And, that's in the theater I was in, it was packed, and everyone starts cheering when they see that. And well, just to back up a little bit, what happens is, Peter Parker, his life is a mess. Now that everyone knows he's Spider-Man, obviously met MJ and, his buddies. It's all a mess. They can't get into college. They're trying to get into MIT. So they get rejected from every college that they've applied to. So he goes to Doctor Strange and he says, well, why don't we, he's like, can you go back in time like we did before? So I no longer have the time stone. And he kind of mentions Wong has they make a joke about well, there's another spell where we can forget things, and Strange says, well, what about this night? And X, Y, Z, and Wong says, what night? That we. So he's like, see, the spell worked. So their plan is to cast the spell that'll let everyone forget that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. So it's kind of an iteration on one more day. And Eric K is saying, my question was, how great was to finally see Paste Pot Pete in the movie? No, we did not get Paste Pot Pete, unfortunately. So yeah, that loses a star right there. No Paste Pot, no Paste Pot Pete. But what was so a couple of nitpicks I didn't like. Of course, Doctor Strange is no longer the Sorcerer Supreme because they said during the blip he was away for 5 years. So Wong is the Sorcerer Supreme. So I would think that once Doctor Strange came back, he would be the Sorcerer Supreme again. But that they're playing, that's the way they went in this movie. And Wong is a great character. The actor's really good. He's a fun character. But in my mind, Doctor Strange should always be the Sorcerer Supreme. And Strange, that's the other part. And like the way, probably my biggest thing I didn't like about the movie was where they portrayed Strange. So he's casting the spell, and of course Peter Parker, typical fashion, is going to screw things up. So he said, "Well, I want MJ to remember me. I want Aunt May to remember me." And he's Strange is like, "Don't stop making me change the spell." So basically, in the end, he said, "Well, I want everyone who knew that I was Spider-Man before Mysterio to know that I'm Spider-Man now." Because he obviously doesn't want to lose some of those relationships with Happy and May, and he that messes up the spell. So all the universes are collapsing, the multiverse, and Strange messes up the spell, which and there's some fun comedic banter. They're like, "Stop asking me to change the spell," and like you think they would have talked that over before they did that. Yeah. Thank goodness Shang-Chi and the Eternals were there to help. Yeah, there was no one else in this movie, which is kind of there are a couple I won't say who, but there are a couple of characters that do pop up that were nice cameos that were got some big cheers in the studio or in the theater. So I won't reveal those, but there are a couple of those, but no one else shows up to help other than no surprise, no big surprise. But we do get Garfield and Maguire in the movie in a big way, which was awesome, and the theater went crazy when they showed up. So basically, what happens is Strange screws up the spell. Then every iteration, everyone that knows he's Peter Parker is coming to Earth, something along those lines. And so basically, the multiverse is coming to the Earth 616 universe. So Dr. Octopus is the first person that shows up. And of course, they're fighting, and then finally, Peter's mask comes off, and his mask is off for like 80% or 90% of this movie. Can't seem to keep his mask on in this movie. And then he's like, "But wait, you're not Peter Parker." So people were saying, "Well, how did he know that?" That was Peter Parker, Spider-Man, but he sees him in the suit, so he says, that's Spider-Man, and Peter Parker. And then when he takes his mask off, he's like, "Wait a minute, you're not Peter Parker." So there was some funny moments like that where the different villains were coming in. So they also had Spider-Man wearing the black suit here, which I'm not a fan of this iteration of the suit, but they're trying to, I guess, weave every part of the multiverse that they could into this movie. Then of course we do get this guy to show up. We get the Green Goblin, and the nice thing was we do get better looking version of Green Goblin. So he Norman Osborn is back, and he smashes his Goblin Power Ranger helmet. So he destroys that in the first few minutes he's back. So the nice thing is you get him not exactly in this costume, but they have like a sweater or like a ratty t-shirt or sweatshirt that he's wearing, and he ends up putting on a hood, so he does kind of look cool in the costume. And God, he's such a great actor as Green Goblin. So he really does a great job as a Goblin. It's just so scary as a Green Goblin. Hey, Comic Relief Crusaders here. Welcome, Decepticon. He really liked it, really enjoyed it. That's great. And lovely Sherry Hale. Yep, glad you guys liked it. Yeah, it was a fun movie. Our theater really went crazy over the certain scenes in the movie. But like Willem Dafoe was just he eats up some of those scenes. He's just fantastic as a Goblin. And of course, most people don't like that helmet, that Power Ranger helmet. Bad design choice, I guess. But he he really is creepy as a goblin, and he switches back and forth. So that was a really good character moment. And of course, then you get I guess they're not showing. You figure basically all the old Sony villains come in, so that's a spoiler, spoilery, but not too bad, I think. But um, so you've got the Lizard comes back. Got Jamie Foxx as Electro, which I think is probably they improved him as a villain. Uh, they made a joke about his teeth being looking good now, because they had him that horrible haircut and the teeth. I'm trying to see if they have any. Of course, they kept it quiet, and I stayed away from watching any of the scenes and trying to have any too many spoilers. I like going into a movie, not knowing what's happened. It's nice to have those surprises. So you've got Kurt Connors obviously as a Lizard coming back. Electro, like I said, there's no Vulture, so you don't see Michael Keaton as a Vulture. So you get the Sinister Five in this. They make a joke about the Rhino, about Andrew Garfield says, I'm lame or something. He's like, I just had. They made a joke about like, I fought this, dorky guy with a horn with in a car. Basically, it was yeah, really, and that was a really lame version of the Rhino. Uh, yeah, so Decepticon is saying, yeah, William Dafoe, missed opportunity for Joker, would have been cool in a Batman movie. Yeah, I could see him doing doing Batman. That would have been pretty wild as Batman. He's got that psychosis that he could pull off. He's scary guy. Well, really, if you see him on screen, it's terrifying. He pulls it off. And so we get, of course, we get our big fights, and the spell has gone bad, and then the big surprise is, of course, you get like I said, Garfield and Maguire come in as Spider-Men, and that when they meet, it's hysterical, and they're saying some of the same lines, and they're really confused, and but it's it's some fun scenes, and I think fans, you might call it fan service, but people have been waiting to, with the rumors, to see that, and it's just great to see them on screen, and Tobey Maguire still looks great. He hasn't aged too much, so God bless him. He looks like he'd pull it off, and of course, Garfield is still pretty young, so he looks good, and all they did a great job. Yep. So Eric K is saying, who thinks Will Ferrell could do an amazing job? John C. Reilly as the Riddler. Well, I don't know about Will Ferrell, but Riley I could see as the Riddler, maybe, right? But yeah, it's there's some great surprises in this movie. It's fun. Really, if I want to say the things I really didn't like were the way they portrayed Strange kind of as a bumbling idiot. One point MJ says, "Well, they're blaming it on Peter Parker," and she said, "Well, you screwed up the spell, not us. So it was your fault." So which is true. I mean, you think that Strange would think things through, or be more careful, or talk to Peter Parker about what's going to happen when he casts the spell. It's like instantly they cast the spell. Then there's some other a couple other things I didn't really like that are way too much into the spoilers of the plot, so I won't say them. But we do get some really heartfelt scenes. I just didn't like the way we got there. But maybe you could say that's typical Spider-Man. Peter Parker screwing things up and getting into trouble for himself. But yeah, there's some major plot twists in this movie. Some major things that happen that in the third act that I didn't see coming. I don't think anyone else saw coming. And I obviously don't want to spoil those, because if you haven't seen the movie, you want to experience that firsthand. And I think it's pretty. These spoilers I'm giving tonight, I mean, these are just basically everyone knew that these guys would be in it. The good news is, if you wanted to see Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, you get a lot of screen time with them. You maybe get a half hour more with the 3 Spider-Man going up against the the 5 villains. So basically, Spider-Man has to he wants to cure everyone because he knows when he sends all these villains back, they're going to end up dying in their universes. Obviously, Green Goblin passes away, gets killed by his glider when he tries to kill Spider-Man. Doc Ock perishes. So and all these characters, he doesn't want to send them back. But Strange wants to just send them back. He's got to, it's always, you've got a gizmo that's going to, undo the spell and make everything perfect. He's just got to press a button and everything's going to go back to the way it was, even though people would know who Peter Parker was. It would erase basically the spell. So that's the MacGuffin of the movie. And, Peter has a second thought and says, well, wait, I can't send these guys back to die. So that was the other part too. Like Strange really didn't, they should have had it more like, well, we have to do this right this second, or, have Strange, talk to him and explain to him why we can't wait, or they should have had something that didn't make that, in my opinion, they made Doctor Strange look bad. So Eric K saying Doctor Strange is no idiot. Comic I was kidding. Yeah, John C. Reilly is I could maybe see him as the Riddler, as a funny Riddler, but yeah. And Decepticon says, this movie sounded like a mess on paper, but it was measured and took time for moments to breathe. Worked better than it should have. Yeah, I agree with that. I think because you've got some good actors there, I think a couple of the scenes that I don't want to spoil some of these nice moments, but I think Garfield actually had probably the best scene in the movie at one point that was really heartfelt and really, really, really well done. And I don't want to say what it was. It's not a huge, it's not really a plot twist, but it's just something really nice and really well done that I think fans would appreciate. So that was nice. And I think they didn't rush the movie. It took time. I just think the portrayal of Strange was off to me. And of course, you've got your big, you always have your big battle in the end, and you've got 3 Spider-Man, 3 versus 5, and you've got that great big battle. They've got the Statue of Liberty, and J. Jonah Jameson is hysterical. He's just so great as playing J.K. What's his? Forgetting J.K. Simmons is just just amazing in that role. He's great. So he's broadcasting the nemesis that is Spider-Man. So he's perfect in that. And I just love seeing him there. So you've got that as a backdrop. You got a big scene. Of course, they're adding a Captain America shield to the Statue of Liberty, replacing the lantern or the Torch of Liberty, which I don't really see them doing. Or maybe they could have added, in their other arm, not blocking the torch. So that was a funny. I thought that was a funny, but what's going on? Where's Steve Rogers, right? I mean, he's alive at the end of Endgame, right? So he just disappeared, and no one knows where he is and what happened to him. I mean, it's just that part of Endgame I don't like, and I don't like Steve Rogers, disappearing across the multiverse or across wherever he went. So that's minor, geeky, nitpicking things, and but I don't think they would add Captain America's shield to the Statue of Liberty, but it made a great, great setting for that last fight, because then they've got, construction zones set up, for the Statue of Liberty, if you remember when they redid it in '86. It was a great scene, great ending scene, great location with that as a backdrop. Yep. Yeah, Holland's Parker's Decepticon says Holland's Parker seemed very immature here, still childlike, still learning responsibility, tiresome at this point. Well, I think John, I think part of that is maybe because we didn't get that development that we did in the other Spider-Man movies, but because of Tony Stark and that this iteration of the character, we didn't get to see him on his own, and he was kind of that geeky outsider. But then there's one line in the movie like he's dating MJ, so Zendana, I'm trying to say her, I don't want to say her name incorrectly, but yeah, she's gorgeous. So the guy's like, that's his girlfriend? No way. Which is kind of the Peter Parker, that is Peter Parker, but I don't think he had that character development that we had in the other movies, or Tobey Maguire shows that when as an older Spider-Man, he really does a nice job showing that he's older. He doesn't say it, but he's like, we work things out. But they're mentioning got off Eric K got off of Holmes and Watson. I didn't see that, but I heard it was really bad. Yep. Oh, hail Punk Waddle. Thanks for stopping by. Yep. Let's see what we got here from our chat. Yep. Let's say I knew Doctor Strange would job for Spider-Man. It's a consequence of being a guest in another character's movie. Cringy but expected. Yeah, I just thought they could have maybe had some other explanation for the spell going wrong. Parker doing it, but just and then of course that fight when you've got the two heroes fighting, Spider-Man versus Doctor Strange, was an amazing fight. The CGI work is incredible, but I just wish they figured out a different way to get to that point. Let's see. Do you mean Old Man Steve who walked away at the end of the end game, or in his prime Steve who turned his back on everything for a shot as his first love? I mean, both, I guess, right? Yeah. So, and I could have pictured Steve Rogers going back for that, stealing maybe one last dance and telling Peggy, "Hey, I've got to do this for the good of the universe." But yeah, I mean, it's just I can't picture Cap, either, or he would have lived another life and changed the whole, course of history too. So that's a long discussion we could have, but it just doesn't seem like Captain America to me to do. I mean, it was a nice, ending for him as a character, but it's something that a lot of us fans, I think, were upset. Yep. Oh, hey, Pat S. Yep. So, Mexican Iron Man was subbing for Loki tonight. Lending my support. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, I wasn't planning on doing a long show because I don't want to give away too much, but I keep talking. But it's thank you for stopping by, Pat S. Yep. How many stars out of 10? I would give it 8 stars out of 10. I think because of what they did to Strange. I think, and there's a couple of things that happened with the character that I didn't like, but in the end, I liked the direction they're headed. I think they should have been in this direction all along for the character, and without giving away, major spoilers, which I don't want to do. I think the ending of the movie, and well, this is one spoiler I'll give. We get this costume finally, so we finally get, the amazing Spider-Man costume that looks awesome on screen with these colors, and we just get a little bit of it at the end, so that's one of the big spoilers. But yeah, that costume looks awesome, and I wish they'd gone with that originally. But yeah, so this Spidey looks great with this costume on the end. So that's the very last scene. Yep. So hey, we got Spider-Man Troll. Never met you online before, but welcome and thanks for watching. Yep. So yeah, so we're well, we don't want to do give away all those spoilers, Mr. Spider-Man Troll. So let me I just want to let's see if Eric K, there we go. Thank you. Eric K took care of that for me with Eric here. Yeah, we don't want to give away that stuff. So that kind of ruins it for the movie. Yeah, but we do get the OG costume makes an appearance. Yep. So that was really, everyone in the movie theater was clapping, and my son was like, and I'm like, I saw the color, and I'm like, yes, that's that was great. So Pat is saying 8 out of 10 from Mark will probably be 5 out of 10 for Clobbering Times. It'll be interesting to see what yeah. So, and thank you, Eric K, for that. Yep. So yep. So that's glad to have Eric K and Chris Persia here helping out. Appreciate that. So yeah, that OG costume was looked really, really good. So of course we get there's some silly things like here, Strange, there's a spell that goes wrong and there's a blizzard in the house, but there's the house is frozen for a couple of days or whatever. It's like, come on. That's just nitpicky stuff. But I thought the relationship between Spidey and MJ, they do a great job with that. They get that right, and they do a nice job. And I think they're really solid actors, these guys. So it's it's well done, and there's some fun. There's fun moments like with Spider-Man's best friend. He's talking to Garfield, and he's talking to and he says, well, what happened to your best friend? He's like, well, he died in my arms after he tried to kill me. He's just like walk, he's just walking away. Like, maybe I won't want to hang out with you guys anymore. The one huge miss in casting, I think, is nothing against the actor, but the guy they've got playing Flash Thompson is not a big, 6'4" tall jock. So, Flash should be a huge, huge, massive, jock in my opinion. So they've got this kind of Weasley, small guy playing Flash Thompson. So let me do it. See if we get a picture of Flash here, but it's it just doesn't fit. I mean, that's not the of course Flash. Everyone remembers the old comics. Hates Spider-Man. He's not hates Peter Parker, but loves Spider-Man. So it's he's trying to trade in on his fame, but yeah, this guy is not a scary, big imposing Flash Thompson. Spider-Man. Peter Parker would be scared of Flash Thompson in real life, and this he's more of just like an annoying, kind of cringy character, which he's not in it for much, but I just give me that big jock Flash Thompson that's scary. Yep. So that's Sean is saying, callbacks and conversation between the characters well handled. Yeah, they had some really good conversations and dialogue, and as the characters interacted, it was really it could have been really cheesy and poorly done, but when they pull the two Spider-Men together, and Garfield's the first one to appear, and MJ, our MJ is in this universe is like, well, prove to me you're Spider-Man, and he just jumps up and he sticks himself to the ceiling. He's holding the ceiling, and she's like, well, that's not enough. He's like, what do you mean that's not enough? It's like, well, crawl across the top of the ceiling. He's like, well, why do I have to do that? And then the grandma is like, well, can you get those cobwebs in the corner for me if you're up there? So which was funny. And he goes up, he crawls across, and he cleans up the cobwebs, which is a little ridiculous, but all right. It was funny. So you've got, those interactions, and the characters, of course, have to, work together. And Garfield's like, well, I guess he's Peter Parker 3. I guess they won't call him 3, even though he came in second. But he said, I've cured the Lizard or Kurt Connors before. That one's easy. I'll handle that one. So of course they've got their MacGuffins, all the different gadgets that they've got to use to cure all the the bad guys. The Sinister Five, we'll call them, because there's only 5 of them. And before they they don't want to send them back to die. So by curing them, the idea is that then they'll go back and they'll be they won't end up dying, or at least they'll have a second chance, or they'll have a chance to they won't be quote unquote bad guys anymore. So they've got a serum that's going to cure the Green Goblin and not make him so Looney Tunes, for lack of a better term. But Osborn is very sympathetic, as William Dafoe portrays him. It's multi-dimensional character, so there's some nice stuff. Yeah. And Sherry was saying, the grandma was funny. She was hysterical. Yeah, I'm guessing she's speaking Chinese, so they didn't subtitle her, but you could just imagine what she was saying. So that was funny. So that was one of the better scenes of the movie. Of course, then Ned he's got Doctor Strange. He's got like a ring for the Doctor Strange had, so he's able to create portals with the ring. And so then he brings in Tobey Maguire, and you're like, but you're not Spider-Man, you're not Peter Parker. He's like, yes I am. Yep. So that was a great scene. Yep. So Chris is saying, turning Flash Thompson an affluent, spoiled rich kid that abuses people with his money, as opposed to the typical jock bully, was a strange choice for me too. 100%, Chris. That's we think alike on that one. He is that kind of bully, but it's just not the. Maybe for this generation, that's it's worse to be picked on YouTube or Instagram or Snapchat. But they also had that physicality to Flash Thompson that was scary too. And of course, in the comics later on, they do become really good friends, and Flash actually becomes the anti-Venom one in the future. Many issues in the future. Let's see. Did they mention Iron Man at all? Don't spoil what was that. No mention of Iron Man. That's not really a spoiler. Just you've got that Stark tech that's always there. So when he's fighting Doc Ock, he brings out the armored, spider suit with the extra legs. It's like he's like saying Doc Ock's got to find him. Like, oh, looks like we've got competition. So lucky Professor X uses mental powers in time to stop it. Yeah. Yeah, Rudy's saying they can't have classic toxic males. No, yeah, but we needed Flash as a classic toxic male in that point. I thought, yep. Amazing scene, Silver Surfer in this movie too. Well, there is a scene in the end. Would you go see it? My son said that there's a scene in the sky where you maybe can pick out characters. So if you look real close, I wasn't paying attention. He was pointing out to me some of the characters he saw. So maybe the surfer was in there. That'd be kind of cool. But if you haven't seen it yet, or you'll know what I'm talking about in the end. There's the multiverses are all flashing in the sky. So there's this point where there looked like there were pictures of characters that were images of characters that were there. So yeah, check pay attention at the end and check that. Yeah, Eric hasn't seen it. Yeah, so Eric, watching the sky for the surfer. Maybe he's hidden in the clouds in there, but there's a scene where all the multiverses are coming to our universe, and of course Strange and the gang all have a fix for everything. So I'll just let's see, how can I say it? Well, basically, without giving away too much, they do kind of have if you've read the comics, Spider-Man One More Day, where Peter Parker's makes a deal with the devil, basically Mephisto, to save Aunt May. But then he loses MJ. So because they wanted to get rid of, MJ as I guess a character in the comics, with Spider-Man being married and older, because the Ultimate Spider-Man was so popular at that point. And then of course Miles Morales was very popular in the Ultimate Universe. So and a lot of Spider-Man fans think that One More Day probably is one of the worst, next to Clone Saga, probably one of the worst things, but probably even worse. In terms of what they did to the character, long term, in terms of losing MJ and that whole episode. So there is some beats of that in this end scene. So they come with a solution that kind of resets Peter Parker, and I'm trying to figure out a way to say it without giving away too many spoilers. But there was a nice reset in the end that Peter Parker is basically going to be on his own again. So it's that part I really like. So let's see what we got here from Pat S. Yep. Were the X-Men and FF during the Infinite War? Yeah, it's gonna be interesting how they pull those characters in, if they're gonna just say they're from the multiverse. That's why we're wondering if they were gonna show up and see what happened. Yep. And so Sean's saying, yeah, you can pick out characters in silhouettes looking like the comic designs. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention. I thought I caught a couple of characters, but I was focusing on the main characters. That's what I'm saying. If anyone goes again, or the missus wants to go too, so I'm going to pay attention to see if I can see what happens there. Yep. Zero Clue was in it. I've been avoiding everything. Yeah, so hopefully these spoilers aren't too bad, Eric. Yeah, I'm not. But I think everyone pretty much knew that Maguire and the villains and two Spider-Men would show up. Yep. Dr. Oz teams up with all three Spider-Mans, and Doctor Strange should be the Green Goblin. Hey, Dom, yep. You could see that. Yeah, well, Dr. Oz is, or I guess maybe saying Doc Ock. I was thinking Dr. Oz is running for Senate now. Doc Oz, yep. Let's see here. If we know it's a bronze-colored surfer, it's actually Eric K. Yep. So yeah, so there's a great, that as Dom is saying. Dom is saying that there were there was a big fight at the end, of course, and you always have one twist in the fight and things like that. So it's fun, exciting fight, and everyone in the movie theater really really liked it, and there's some big cheers. There's some big they did it right. Eternals was just so damn boring. Not to talk about that, but too much. But I mean, just there was nothing that even made you cheer in Eternals. It was like the characters were the bad guy. Almost the heroes almost became the bad guys in that movie. So this, it's kind of like when you write a speech, you want to have those points where you kind of pause and let the crowd applaud. So this movie hit those beats and had those moments and had those nice character interactions. So uh, I just didn't like, how they kind of made Strange kind of like an idiot or a screw up in the movie. It was as Sean was saying, that was a means to an end. But yeah, that was it was a fun movie, and the costumes are great. And I think we finally seen Peter Parker freed from the Tony Stark tech and that kind of influence. So I think that's a good direction to reset the character and bring him back to the basics and what the character is really all about. Spider-Man should never be an Avenger, in my opinion. It's cool, it's fun to have him there, but Spider-Man's that loner, the kid that young guy that's has struggling to make ends meet. Yeah, he's got a gorgeous girlfriend, but he doesn't have enough money. He's never got a great job. He's smart, but he gets all the bad breaks in life. But he keeps working and he still tries to be a hero. And I think Maguire's Spider-Man and Garfield also touch on that too. So how they say they want Peter to keep fighting. We should say our Spider-Man or the MCU Spider-Man to keep fighting and to keep working, and not to give up. And that's that ultimate character Spider-Man. If one of those one of the great issues when he's got that building that's collapsed on him. I think it's in the 30s. I can't remember the issue number, but it's really well done in that issue, showing you how Peter Parker never gives up or Spider-Man never gives up. So that that comes through with this movie, with this character. Some of that big plot twist that we have. I'm still debating whether or not I like that, or but I guess it does fit into the Spider-Man universe. Although I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of fan debate about that one. And then let's see. Pat asks, important question. Did you buy candy there or sneak it in? When you get a Diet Coke or popcorn refill, do you make your son go while you watch the seats? Well, the nice thing is you got assigned seating now for your extremely expensive tickets. The theater I go to, they do a great job. The AMC that I go to, it's IMAX theater, but it's like a smaller IMAX. It's like, but the screen is still much bigger than a regular screen, and they do a really nice job there. So I think my son did sneak in some candy, but I just got the popcorn and my Reese's Pieces, which and so yeah, I use all those points. So like when you buy tickets, you have one of those, so I got all my popcorn and candy was free, from having that AMC Stubs card. So yeah, I always look to save money there. Yep. So Sean is saying, after the executive sticky note meddling of past Sony Spider movies, a film like this, it sounded desperate in concept. Really surprised me by how sober and coherent it was. Yeah, that great, excellent point, Sean. Yeah, because what happened in that, the second, was it the second movie when Spider-Man's fighting Electro? I can't remember. It's Amazing Spider-Man 1 or 2. The movies are so forgettable. It's just not that Garfield is good as Spider-Man, but that turn to Electro was just so out of left field and so ridiculous. I think he's probably one of the worst villains. So yeah, and you could see how Sony was trying to, they wanted to have that Sinister Six. They were trying to get to where the MCU was instead of doing it organically, or they're trying to shoehorn too much in too quickly without character development. And really, they fell flat on their face. So it was good to see these characters kind of get some better moments and get in terms of that's of course I'm talking about the Lizard, and he gets some good moments now, and it's a much better villain, and especially Electro, because it's just a real waste of what they did to him. Of course, many people consider the Spider-Man 2, Amazing Spider-Man 2 with Doc Ock, probably one of the better superhero movies. I guess we'll debate, was that better than Winter Soldier, but most people I think would say that's probably the best best Spider-Man movie until we got some of these MCU movies. But to me, I think that those first two Spider-Man movies, for me, that's it. Third one is pretty bad, but those first two are amazing. Yep. So Eric, I cannot believe this whole thing was set up by Apocalypse. Yeah, we'll find out. Yep. I used to smuggle burritos in the theater. Got to be careful with that if you can have those in your pockets, right? You got to have those wrapped up good. Yep. Not the Apocalypse in the movies. Yep. Let's see. That's the same movie meal since E.T., Reese's Pieces, and popcorn. I approve. Yep. That's been my go-to. Yeah, and sometimes sometimes I dump the Reese's Pieces in the popcorn, which works works good. Yep. Apocalypse is working with Doctor Doom. Yeah, it's going to be, then that sum up. Then basically you've got your big battle, and obviously the shocker, the villains are defeated, or world is back to mostly normal, and it's set so don't leave the theater. Obviously, there's 2 end credit scenes. So the first one, I won't spoil, but it's a quick scene. It's a fun scene. It's actually, just so to set it up, it's actually a flashback when you start watching it. So it's not present with the movie. It's a flashback to, earlier in the movie, not that far back, but it's set up, in the past of the movie, if I'm explaining that the right way. So when when you see that character and you see what happens, that'll then you'll understand. But they're setting up another character to come from the Sony universe into the MCU. We'll leave it at that. And they did it in a kind of cute, smart way, which I thought was good. So we've got that, and then you've got to wait all the way to the end credits, and basically what we get is a Doctor Strange trailer at the end of the movie. So they're setting up Doctor Strange. So this will all be out everywhere. So you see Wanda talks to Doctor Strange, which is no shocker, and then that leads into Spider-Man into Doctor Strange in in his next movie. It's just basically a trailer, so it doesn't really give away much, which I like. I hate trailers that give away everything on the movie. We're watching some trailers before this movie, and it's like, enough with these 3-minute trailers. There was a movie with that they were showing, and it's like, come on, don't they're giving away all these good, fun scenes to try to make you see the movie, but then it's ruined when you go to see the movie finally. So it was, I'm gonna, right now I'm at an 8. Maybe I'll go higher, but yeah, definitely, highly recommend seeing it. I think certain things might, you could nitpick or might get you angry. Some of those things I didn't like. Mostly was Strange. We'll leave it at that in terms of making Strange look bad, or I thought they should have had some kind of accent or something that they could have done to make that spell mess up. But I guess that's maybe just me being a big Strange fan, and he's kind of acts like a jerk to Peter Parker a few times too, considering all that they've gone through. They do, they have some nice character moments where they acknowledge that, but he's kind of abrupt and short with Peter Parker. He says, well, sometimes I forget you're a kid, which could be true, even though he doesn't look that young to me on the screen. But it's they did have some nice moments there, but I thought he was way a little bit too abrupt, considering hey, they saved half the universe together. So and Sean is saying, yeah, I like the brief flashes of yellow electricity in Electro's face, like the classic comics design. Would have liked it all the time, but you take what you can get. Yeah, that's great catch there. Yeah, so if everyone remembers the old Electro, how Electro looked. Let's Electro Spider-Man. So he's got those flashes of yellow, coming out of his face like that. So yeah, they kind of, that's that classic action figure. So they did have kind of that look versus, which look is cooler, this look or this look? I mean, so what they did with in this movie, they did make Jamie Foxx and his character look a lot better as Electro, I thought. So he didn't have this. They actually take away his power, so he's more human again. But then he regains control, but he's more like wearing a suit, and here he is. He's channeling the power. So there we go. There's a nice clip. So it's looks a lot cooler, a lot techier versus this silly, this kind of look. So they did a nice job with that. I think with that character design. That was really cool. And of course, he's stolen some Stark tech right there. So in the celebration of Spider-Man movies, more than comics, it is what it is. Yeah. So it's yeah, that's true. Yeah, they're making these for people that like seeing the MCU movies. So you can't please all the people all the time. That cliche. And if you've read you know 600 plus Spider-Man comics, there's going to be things that I always say, yeah, you can't translate certain things to the screen. You got to change things to make it work in the theater. And they did celebrate those. That's a great way to say it, John. They did celebrate those, the Garfield and Maguire Spider-Man really well, and also paid homage to those villains too. And I think that you got, by having Doc Ock and Green Goblin again, seeing those great performances, William Dafoe was fantastic. I think that really, when you go back and watch, I'm going to go back and watch Spider-Man 1 and 2 again with my son this weekend, and you kind of appreciate that character a lot. Yep. Philbo. Philbo. Yep. Damn, I'm late. Did we win? Yeah, we won. Yep. Spidey won. Yep. All three Spider-Man won. But you can always rewind. But yeah, hell, glad to be there. Oh, yep. Yep. Sandman. Thank you, Pat S. Yep. I totally forgot Sandman. Yep. Yeah. So Sandman's also in it. Yep. So Flint Marko is in it. Yeah, the guy from Wings and from Sideways. Yep. So he's good in it as well. Special effects they're even better. They keep making these special effects better and better. So let's see if we got some pictures of Sandman. It's kind of funny. He's in the apartment and he's like getting sand everywhere. So yep. So I don't know if they have any pictures of the movie yet, but let's see. But yep, Sandman's in there. So that was good to see. Yep. So we got the five villains. There was no Vulture. I guess the original Sinister Six also had Kraven the Hunter, so hasn't appeared yet. But you've got Sandman, Green Goblin, Doc Ock, Electro, and the Lizard. So it's a Sinister Five. I'm sorry about that, Sandman. Don't come after me since I forgot you. Yep. Yeah, nice to see the Mandarin back as the way the Mandarin should be. Yep. Let's see. Yeah, Jamie Foxx's look from Amazing Spider-Man was in line with the Living Lightning, not Electro. This does look better. Yeah, so it's a good point, Chris. Yep. And let's see who we got. Anyone else? Any points in the chat here? But basically, I think we'll say our goodbyes here and thank everyone. But yeah, definitely go see this. They did a nice job with all the costumes, the characters. We get that classic Spider-Man blue and gold, blue and red flying in the end. We get that great scene, and I wish we could see more of it. But hopefully, of course, in the next movie, we're going to see that. Not that that Spider-Man the other Spider-Man costumes didn't look good. When they had the raised. Here's the the movie Spideys, where they had the. Let me go full screen here. Where they had the raised up. Webbing, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I seeing that original, red and blue costume was just really cool. So yeah, I think Wobbly Leg Spider-Man would probably give it he would give it a thumbs up or 2 out of 2 web slingers. But yeah, one of the funny scenes was they were asking Tobey Maguire, like he's shooting his webs, like, well, where's your web shooters? And he said, no, it just happens. I don't have. And the other guy's like, well, we always have running out of web fluid and all that stuff. And then I've always said that too. Where I was gonna. Tom Holland's character says, but did they come out of anywhere else? It's like, so that was a funny moment. Yeah, because if you look at it, a regular spider, hey, the webs come out, not through the legs. So we'll leave it at that. But that was a funny. He's like, no, they don't come out anywhere else. So that was funny. Yep. So let's see. We got Sean is saying, reminded of Japanese Ultraman movies and specials where they team up past Ultraman for the sake of images and scenes fans dream of. Yeah, that was, everyone in the movie theater went nuts as soon as, these guys, the other Spider-Men showed up, that was a huge, huge applause moment, and God, the people loved to see these guys together, and of course they do a great job in terms of setting up, like I said, moments where you're going to cheer for all the characters. You get them all together, and then they kind of jump off the building, and there's one shot where uh, you know. They all go up into the sky, and they make that classic Spider-Man pose with the moon in the background. They all kind of do the same exact thing separately, and then they land together, and the theater went crazy. Yep. Chris says, did Michael Keaton reprise his role? Is that a spoiler? No, I said before, there's no Vulture, so we're missing the Sinister Six. It really wouldn't have made sense for him to show up, I guess, but they could have had him. They could have worked him in, but yeah, they didn't want to have too many characters, but yeah, so he didn't show up, so that we only got 5. Yep. And hey, Janet, how's it going? Yep. So she's going to see it. You're going to see it this weekend. So yeah, definitely you'll enjoy it. You'll like it. So not too many spoilers here, but yeah, it's a fun movie, and people clapped in my movie theater. So sometimes you go to a movie, and maybe it was the opening night, but I went to the 4:00 show, which is early. It was pretty packed, and people were happy with the end. So that was good. It was good to see that reaction. People getting out into the world and having fun. Yep. Although you all asked all our superheroes to wear masks in the movie theater, so you had to wear masks in the movie theater in between eating popcorn. Yep. I never liked the silver webbing on Tobey Spider-Man. Yeah, I got kind of used to it. I think they were trying to make the costume show up better. Maybe it was CGI back then. Maybe it was something to take your eye off of it, off of the motion. But yeah, it was a purist. That's what I'm saying. You'll love to see. You'll really love to see the costume. The original costume in the end. So that was really great. Yep. So Sean is saying, yeah, my theater cheered every time somebody appeared or something cool happened, like yeah, exactly. That's what's fun about opening night too, right? We've got all these great TVs at home, but hey, go opening night. You're with a big crowd. You're with all Spider-Man fans, and everyone's cheering, and that's part of the experience too. So if you're if you see this a couple months from now, you might say, oh, it was good, but maybe not as good, or it just really adds to that movie experience. That's why I love seeing things like that. And Chris is saying, agree with Tim that Toby is a goat. Yeah, does a great job as Spider-Man. I mean, he's gotten some criticism, but he's got that subdued character, and he's really got real great charisma on the screen, and he still looks like he'd be Spider-Man or play Spider-Man. A little bit older, but yeah, he's really, really nice the way he really handles that role. And then the scene, like, we're gonna go walk. Garfield goes like, "Are you gonna fight like your middle-aged chemist, or what is it, drugstore worker or something?" Forgetting the line, and he pulls his shirt down. He's got the Spider-Man suit underneath. Everyone cheered. Yep. Did anyone notice Kitty Pryde was not Kitty Pryde in the movie? I missed that. Was she invisible? Did she gone invisible? I guess we'd seen another actress. Hey, Eric, you didn't see it, I thought, right? But let's see what we got here from. Yep, everyone's enjoying. It's almost right. Youth pastor. Thank you, Tim Stuck. Thank you. Yeah, youth, looking like a youth pastor. So yep, my crummy memory sometimes. But yeah, that was a funny line. So there's some really fun character moments, and they're not done all for fan service. I mean, they're well done. They're not cheesily done. So it's really nice job writing some of those lines. Just some of the Doctor Strange stuff, I'll say, was not my favorite, and not having him the Sorcerer Supreme anymore, and not a fan of, because I'm a big Strange fan. So he's my number one. He's my number one sorcerer, wizard, as they call him in the movie, which is fun. They keep calling him the wizard. So yep. So I guess Eric is saying, been avoiding all spoilers, but thank you for being here, Eric. I tried not to spoil it too much. Cannot go think. Yeah, and I hope you're feeling better. I know that you've had some. It's okay to say, because I think you posted it. Some you can't really sit in one place for a long time. So yeah, that would kind of suck being in the movie theater. So no, that's, yeah. We don't want to. It's no spoilers, sorry. That's okay. Yep, we spoiled some, some of the what I think is minor stuff that you would eventually see on the trailers and things. But like I remember when the new Star Wars sequel was coming out, the first one. We won't mention the three new ones, but I watched like every everything that was going out, every little picture I could find, every trailer, analyzed it, watched it in slow motion, and then by the time I saw the Phantom Menace, okay, well the movie wasn't great, but it seemed like I knew every damn thing about the movie. So that I try to avoid that now, and that's why I like those short spoilers. So let's see. So I guess Sean is saying here, I love when the Shaper of Worlds and Four Man teamed up to mend rifts in reality. Yeah. So if you're a comic book reader, you know who Irving Forbush is. Yeah. Shaper of Worlds. Yep. So it's it's a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. So there was some craziness that happens at the end, and Marvel MCU greatness. I think. Oh, here we go. Oh, big spoiler. Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Yeah, we did not get Peter Porker in the movie, just in case you were wondering. There's no Peter Porker. There was no Spider-Girl. I was hoping for the MJ Mayday Parker Spider-Girl from that alternative universe, but we didn't get her. But yeah, it was a lot of fun things that happened in this movie, and yeah, you can't go wrong by going to see it. So yeah, okay, Peter Porker was awesome. Yeah, well, he's awesome in Spider-Man Across the Multiverse. Yeah, that was fun. I couldn't believe they had him in the movie, but that was that was awesome. So we did not get a Peter Porker in this one, but yep. So I just want to say, let me say our goodbyes here. So thank you, of course, Eric K, for wrenching. Punk Waddle, thank you for being here. Oh, he's asking, did we not have a Spider-Man noir? So there was a Spider-Man's wearing the black costume. And where's my phone? And he's going through and he's swinging through and he's got his phone on here and he's got the video going so they can transmit video. I mean, come on, Spider-Man's got to get GoPro or something. It didn't make sense while it's Stark Tech. So it's a little ridiculous. So he's swinging with the black costume. But I thought that was a little ridiculous with his phone taped to the costume like that, like the duct tape. But duct tape fixes everything. But that's a geeky nitpick thing. But that was they didn't get the black costume in there. I think I was showing a picture before. But it was weird. Yep. So yeah, well, I don't know. There's no Spider-Ham cartoon yet. It should be obvious. Yeah. So yeah, but thank you everyone for watching. Yeah, I hope you enjoy the movie. So I just want to thank like I said before, Eric K, Punk Waddle, Chris Persia, Decepticon, Janet from Another Planet, Tim's Talk, Pat S was here before, Phil Ball Baggins. Let's see, who else am I missing here? Rudy was here. Thank you, Rudy. And Eric K took care of the troll that was here before. Thank you for that, Eric K. Comic Relief Crusader and the lovely Sherry. Hope you're doing well. And Dadman bailed out because he didn't want to hear any spoilers. And of course, Six was here, so thank you, Six. And Six saw it and said, "Oh my God, it was so good." So she really loved this. I think everyone, if they want to give their rating in the chat, 1 through 10, that would be fun to do. So I was an 8, but I might go a little higher. We'll see how I feel about this Doctor Strange stuff. That'd be fun if everyone put their rating in the chat. So that would be fun to see. So Sherry gives it an 8. Yep. So yeah, of course, Eric, you can't vote because you didn't see it. So, but just kidding, right? We don't want to have any any fake votes. Yep. Yeah. So let's see. Clobbering Times is going to be on. I guess I'm going to be on the Clubhouse in 15 minutes, so everyone should head there. So I think that's I'm assuming that's the link to the Clubhouse. So yep. So Sean is saying 8 for now until I got to talk to. I always see Clobbering Times because there's movies I love, and then he tells me about them. I'm like, you just ruined that movie for me with all that logic and making some good points. So Eric K gives it a question for when he sees it. Yep. But yeah, so everyone head over to the Clubhouse, and if you can, appreciate you seeing you there at Clobbering Times. We're going to be hanging out with Cal, and of course, we're going to talk about this a little bit. But I don't know. I don't think we discussed it before. We didn't really want to do spoilers, so I wanted to get on and just give maybe a few more spoilers than we might do during the clubhouse. But yeah, go to see this movie. Eric K, hope you're feeling better, and then you can eventually see it, get through a movie theater. But yeah, you might have to wait, unfortunately, I guess, till it's on home video. But do they say home video anymore? But Pat asked us, yeah, Clobberin went to see it same exact time as me. Yep. So he was going to have him on here, but he was driving around and had to run some errands, so he couldn't make it before the clubhouse. But you can see more of us over at the clubhouse. Yep. Punkwell says, I forget the last movie I saw in the theater. So my last movie before the vid hit was Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, which I can't even stand saying that movie was so bad. So thankfully we've had some better movies to help us. Oh no, Eric K said he felt really bad today to fall. That sucks, man. Sorry to hear that. And yeah, hope you eventually feel better and do what you need to do. But yeah, rest and yeah, I can imagine sitting down maybe is not the best thing, but that sucks. And sorry to hear that, but hope you feel better. But there is a fun moment in this movie where Tobey Maguire, is playing the older Spider-Man. He's trying to crack his back. I don't know if you make you feel better. Okay, I'm sorry, but and then Tom, then the other Spider-Man comes over and he cracks his back for him. He's like, "Oh, that feels so much better." So Andrew Garfield cracks Tobey Maguire's back and he lifts him up. It was pretty funny. Yeah, but hope you're okay. So yep. So oh no, Eric said he was shaking for hours. Oh, that's horrible to hear. Yep. So yeah, if you got to, man, go see go see a doctor. Go do what you need to do to hopefully feel better. But yeah, appreciate you being here, and hopefully being in these streams maybe takes your mind off of things when you're not feeling good. So but I appreciate everyone everyone being here. It's went longer than I was going to famous famous last words, but really appreciate everyone hanging out here. We had a lot of people watching, which is great. And yeah, head over onto the clubhouse, and we're going to be hanging out there and chatting. More Spider-Man and wherever else the chat will take us. So have a great it's Friday tomorrow, so have a great Friday. Have a great pre-holiday weekend. I don't know if a lot of people maybe are taking the next week off. So that's if you're taking that week off, yep, have a great time. Have a great Christmas. Have a great holiday. And it was great hanging out with everyone. Let me play my outro here, and have a great night and a great day tomorrow, everyone. Take care. Hope you enjoyed.